Hello there, only one Kenobi here, only one. This is another top to flop, it's Jango Fett, and let's do it. Before we get going, see this here? This amazing figure. Be expected to see a Jango Fett with this mold soon, and when they do that, I'll be well happy. Well, he's coming out. It's already announced that we're going to get another Jango Fett, but imagine him looking like that. And also, yeah, I don't know what, I've got this figure just to show you how good Tamora Morrison's head sculpt is nowadays. But from the making of this video, check the date of the video, ladies and gentlemen, before you're too hasty in the comments. This, in my opinion, is the best Boba Fett they've ever made, and it's insane because this is a 5 POA figure. But I love this one. This is of all the figures, except for the fact it seems quite short, the rangefinder, and it's you can't articulate it. This is the one, when I see it, I think of how he looked in that film. Because, as you'll see in a minute, all the other helmets are just a little bit undersized because they're all removable, the other ones that you see here. Every single one has a removable helmet, and for that reason, Jango, he looks a bit too narrow, but this is a great figure. You can't do much with the articulation, but the weapons are great. He's obviously wearing his backpack from his number 2 backpack, because as you remember, he lost his first one on Camino, or it blew up, which was the same as Boba's inherited one. And that's all I better say, because let's just move on. I was going to customize this and use my silver pen, which is my silver chrome pen, to make him look a little bit more Beskar-y, but if I get another one, I will. Let's move on to this one. This figure here is the closest I got to the Vintage Collection one. It is pretty much the same figure, except the Vintage Collection one had a poncho. I pose him like this because of flyguy.net, and I'm not going to say any more than that, because when he was reviewing the Vintage Collection Boba, I'm sure he pulled out the figure that's twinned with it, which is the closest, kind of, it's almost like in the repack sense. And it was this one, and this is how Flyguy Steve had it posed. But look at it. And there it is. More or less the same one, and I do regret that I could have had this figure loose, because I think around about 2017 I got a second one of these which was punched, which I subsequently flogged for a profit. But I could have, maybe should have opened it. I just figured I didn't need to because I had this one. But one thing I regret is not having it, because none of my Bobas except for one have a poncho, and apparently the fabric of this poncho is a lovely texture. This is all going from Steve Flyguy's review. I remember him saying that, how nice the fabric was, but we'll talk about this one later on. That was my number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3, which I almost had on my number 2, because this one here is just a brilliant figure, even though it's well, let me go back to it. It's that one there. It is the sneak preview, but Jango. And again, to mention SteveFlyGuy.net, I'm sure he said how much he loved this figure, and not that I need to love what he loves, but he's right, because it is such a good figure. Lovely helmet, not a removable helmet. Again, I think Jango always benefits when his helmet isn't removable. You see, it's a little bit wider. I mean, almost one could argue that's a bit too fat, that, but it just looks powerful. But this one here, the rangefinder looks the right size. Can you articulate that? No, sadly not. The weapons are good. The alignment is nice. You can see, you can have them pointing. They were just like, oh, I need to get rid of that elastic band, I think. There were loads of times in the film when you saw him shooting off like that, and it's brilliant. My first ever Jango Fett figure was like this one, which you'll see later on down the line, but unfortunately the one problem with the figure is he's pre-posed. But I mean, look at that though. Come on, would you want him in any other pose than that? Brilliant. You can't use those holsters either, but this is a brilliant figure. Oh, lost the focus. There he is. Get onto that, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. Next up is this one. I can't remember where and when I acquired this figure, but it's nice. I have him, I think I have this guy stood next to Zam Wessel. Again, there's a removable helmet you can put on there. He's got weapons you can put in holsters there. This is not a million miles away from the sculpt, mold, whatever of this. In fact, I dare say it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Again, could it be almost... Look at this, TVC. I know it isn't. I wonder what the facial sculpt's like of the TVC one. What a regret. Let me know, ladies and gentlemen. Is that the TVC one? I guess it's Legacy again. Let's take the helmet of this one off, actually. Yeah, look at that. I reckon the TVC one's like this. I think this is something like, I don't know. Could be anything, couldn't it? Someone will know. I'll shut up there and I'll let you put it in the comments. Next to a time code and you can let me know. I'd guess something like... I know for a fact that's 30th anniversary. Because I remember buying it. Because I thought it was going to be better than it is. That's why it's in last place. Spoilers. But this one, the facial sculpt is not a million miles away. It's very distinct. I wanted to have one figure just wearing his headset. Because you do see him in the film. Hang on, son. We're going to go into the asteroid field. And we'll have a couple of surprises for him. Anyway, and again, like most of the Fetts I've got, Jango's, they're all wearing Mach 2 jetpack. This one, I couldn't put it dead last, although I don't think much of this figure. I have him tucked away on the shelves. I couldn't put him last because of the fact his facial sculpt. I've always liked it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's the first ever Jango figure I had. I always used to display him with his helmet on because he looks good like that. And you can kind of have him looking like this one is, but it's not as good as this one. This one points in a more direct line. Points in a more direct line. He aims better. He's better posed. Plus, he's got the better head. This guy has a better head. This one, I'll put the helmet on just for you, actually, for my own benefit as well. Actually, I haven't seen it with the helmet on for a while. Now I have this guy stood with Dooku, my crap Dooku figure. The one that came in last place for my top to flop Dooku. Because you do see them together a lot, especially in the cutscenes, stood together. It's like Boba and Vader. You've got Jango and Tyrannus. And I just thought that this one really... Look at that, man. I can see him there. I can see Tem. It's got a really good scar as well. Pack your things. We're leaving. Oh, let's have a look at the backpack there. Yeah, man. Classic. And that one. So, let's put this on. It's alright. I do have another Fett figure. I might yet open it. I might open it in another episode, maybe. Keep this one shorter. But this one, right? I thought it would just be average, like, say, that. But look at this pose here. Look at that. I quite like the way he looks there. I'm actually thinking about getting him on my corner shelf. See, I've got all these things here. Mini rigs, dioramas, beasts. And I think that having a flying Fett over these guys' head might look pretty cool. So I might open him. In fact, stay tuned. I will open it. And last place, sorry about this, no disrespect, my friend, but this is in last place, even though he does look good on the shelf, and I have him stood with young Boba. Sorry about the focus there. My young Boba, I have him stood with this one because they're wearing ponchos, and it looks like they're sort of like they would on a landing pad at Camino. But the reason this is in last place is the paint job is terrible on the blasters. Some of the features are reminiscent to parts you see in later Fetts, but this is 30th anniversary, I think. But this is the real letdown. The head sculpt, he just looks like a young clone there. That ain't good enough. I know I never have his helmet off. I can understand why, but the only thing good for myself using this figure is the fact that this is the only Fett I've got with the poncho, but sadly he sits in last place. But it doesn't end there. I'm going to mount the camera, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be proud to bring to you. I've had this for years. Final Battle. Not that I don't have enough Fetts for Final Battle. I've got too many wearing that backpack. But still, I like the idea of getting it out, man. Why not? With Fire and Gauntlet. You got the flame things there. Wow. And there is the back again. If I film that there, you can freeze frame it. Wow. How about that? Classic 2002, this, ladies and gentlemen. There's about to be one less in circulation after I open it, so I'm going to mount the camera right now. Ready? Oh my god, come on, get your act together. Oh, come on, man. Oh, god. Fucking hell, man.
Bruh.
I can't get it open. This is good glue. I wish they did figures like that nowadays. Let's try the other side. Oh, yeah! Oh, right, man. Yeah, that's good. And where would I put this in rank order, man? Where would I put him? Oh, look at that. Do you know what, man? Oh, look at that feature. With a magnetic head. You know what? That's awesome. I'm so glad I've opened this. I might have him facing like this with the head off, or get young Boba holding the helmet. Oh, I don't know. But how cool is that, man? That looks a bit weird with that gauntlet there. See it? It's a good figure, though. Let's get this on and see what this does. Oh my god, look at that. How the hell does that lock in? What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to just pull it back and let it roll? Well, that's just fallen off again. If I'm doing this wrong, forgive me. I've just got to do it quickly, haven't I? Oh, God knows. Let's get this on. But the pose on the picture... Oh, yeah, see, look at that. That's amazing for that year. That's like your classic... That's your ball joint articulation there, isn't it? A hinge with... Well, it's technically a ball. It's a... Oh, excuse me. It's just a... It's a hinge, but with a swivel in it. Wow. I don't know. An interesting Jango, that. I quite like him in flight like that because his legs hinge. All these are from 2002 and they don't have such articulation, but this does. So leave that with me. Quite like that. Wow. You could do that with any of these figures. I mean, especially like one like that. That's got hinges and ball joints and super articulation all over it. But that, you'll have to wait and see, ladies and gentlemen. My shelf tours are coming back. But I'll wait and see. I mean, that removable head like that, you could get a young Boba, any type, and you could just get him holding a helmet. You know what I mean? An empty helmet, and that would do. But the fact that's come off the head, it's got a little bit of the neck almost there. See that bit there? That's where the incision would have been, maybe. God, it's not a very nice way to die, that, is it? I don't know. There's choices there, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't even know where I would rank him. I wouldn't put him last, though. This one here has got a lot of interesting stuff going on here. So I think I would put him, this one here, I would actually now put potentially level with this one. Or maybe even ahead of it. Because you can do a bit more with it. Although that still has the good head sculpt. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you followed my order. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one. Out.